Today we're going to be looking at Lunar Tides in the color Siam Orange. My swatches are human hair swatches, but the only one that is virgin hair is going to be the number 4 black swatch. The rest have been chemically colored or bleached at some point in their lifetime. Also, the numbers on top are not synonymous with hair levels. I just do different video clips and pictures near the end, so each number helps us keep track of each swatch. 1 is green, just wanted to see how the green and orange would interact with each other. 2 is gray. 3 is a natural red. Again, 4 is black, so 4 to 11 is a range that goes to a platinum blonde, and then 12 is like a toned version of number 11. I'm going to start by taking the dye directly from the container, and I will apply it at the top of each swatch. And then some people do like to dilute their dyes, so I will do a diluted version at the bottom of each swatch. Please keep in mind, everyone's hair is different, which means everyone's hair will take color differently. Plus, different screens and monitors can make colors look different, especially undertones. So please just use my video as a reference for how this could possibly turn out for you. For the diluted section, we're going to do a 1:4 ratio. So that's going to be 1 part of the dye to 4 parts diluter. If you're confused about what diluter is, I always just give the simple answer that it's something that lightens the color of a semi-permanent dye. Usually each brand will sell their own version of a diluter that you can buy if that makes you more comfortable, but to keep things more fair, I always just use a plain white conditioner to dilute. Okay, I really want these to absorb the color, so I'm gonna let them sit for about 3 hours. I will then rinse them out, and when they're dry, I will meet you back here. Before we get too far into this, I do just want to say that I have an affiliate code with Lunar Tides. So if you like this or any other product from Lunar Tides, you can use my code Floxy to get 15% off. Like I said, this is an affiliate code, so I do make a small commission anytime that my code is used, but of course that goes right back into my channel. And thank you if you do use it. From what I can tell, this is quite pigmented because number 4 is the only one that I do not see a difference on. Number 1 was originally green, and while I can't 100% say whether I like the orange over the green, I will say it does kind of give it a more natural appearance. Like if you look at the green swatch compared to the blonder swatches, it's a little bit darker, a little bit closer to a brownish orange. It didn't fully cover the green on the diluted section, so the direct dye would probably be more recommended, or having paler green underneath, but of course do a strand test. 2 was originally gray. The cool tones underneath did make the orange appear a little bit darker and a little bit more muted, especially on the diluted section. It just doesn't look quite as like bright and saturated as it does on the blonde swatches. I guess you could almost say it looks slightly more natural there as well. Number 3 was a natural red. I don't see a huge difference on the diluted section. There probably is. We can see that when we do the before and after clips. The direct dye section, I've started to notice that the natural red swatches kind of look like they should fit somewhere in between, like maybe 6 and 7. I think it does lean a little bit more red looking than maybe the number 7 does, but I don't think the red undertones underneath really did a huge difference compared to the other more brown swatches anyways. But the darker hair underneath does make it look a little bit more natural compared to the blonde swatches. So while I do see a difference on the direct eye for number 5, I don't know how well this would stay in your hair if it's virgin hair. So I would maybe do a test before doing your whole head if your hair is a little bit darker. For number 5, it kind of seems to have changed the undertone. Like it still looks like a brown that's a lot more warm than it was before. Whereas when you get to like number 6 and 7 and like I said number 3, you start to see a lot more of those oranges coming through. I mean, it probably depends on the lighting, but even number 6 on the direct eye, to me it almost looks like a really dark orange versus a brown. For the diluted section, I don't really see much of a difference until we get to number 7 and 8. There probably is a difference on number 6. It's just not wild enough for me to be able to tell currently. But overall, I think if you have hair that's not super blonde, you'll probably have good luck with this color. It does appear the brightest and most like saturated looking on the 11, which was the platinum blonde swatch. The blonde hair that was a little bit darker, not as like obviously platinum looking, does have a more slightly natural look to it. Obviously not actually natural, just in comparison to 11, it's not as bright looking. It's just a touch more muted maybe. And that goes for number 12 as well. So honestly, I don't think toning your hair would really be necessary. So I'm going to compare this to a couple of my slightly more warmish oranges. The first one's going to be a little bit more natural looking, and that is Overtone in the color Ginger. This is comparable to number 12, number 11, number 10, and number 9. Honestly, the Siam orange is going to be a kind of more unique orange to my collection. It's not super neon like some oranges are. It's not super red either like some oranges are. You can see in comparison to the ginger does actually lean a slightly bit more yellow in comparison, but it is meant to look more natural. Siam orange is not meant to look natural. But hopefully you can see the similarities and the differences, like how the platinum blonde swatch does look a lot brighter in comparison. But as far as undertones, this was one of the more similar that I had in my collection. The next comparison I have for you today is Good Die Young in the color Riot. This is comparable to number 12, number 11, number 10, and number 9. So now you can see that Riot is a lot more red leaning in comparison. So Siam orange is a really good in between. It almost maybe even would be like close to, if not a perfect true orange. Because like I said, all of my comparisons are either just too yellow, too red, or too natural looking. I don't have anything that's exactly the same. On the slightly darker swatches like 9 and 10, I think they aren't too far off. 11, it's not terrible either. It's just, I think 11 you see the biggest difference between the two in undertone, but brightness wise they're pretty similar. And if you aren't aware, Good Die Young is Hayley Williams' brand, and she's known for her iconic orange hair. So you could kind of look at pictures of her as well. You can tell when her hair is freshly dyed because it will lean very like reddish orange, and then it slowly fades into something that's a little bit truer of an orange. Just throwing that out there if you need any reference pictures, because I think she did a pretty good job matching her hair color to the dye that she made for her brand. But of course, in the future, if we do any other more true oranges, this Siam orange will definitely be one that I compare them to. But now I would like to get into our before and after clips. Those, as well as any pictures you see near the end of the video, will all be done in natural lighting.
Far off dreams. versions of ourselves that we cannot define. Moving backwards or reversed, we're side to side. We're running circles up and down between the
I hope this video helped. If you have a request, I do have a link below to a Google form you can fill out. Just remember, I only do brands that do not test on animals. Thank you so much to my patrons. Thank you if you use my code Floxy at Lunar Tides. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.